I need you to imagine waking up in the middle of the night when you're 5 years old. Your parents are awake. You can hear the TV playing right outside your door. You're safe. There's nothing to be afraid of. And then, you look down from your bunk bed, and something is already looking back at you. It doesn't move. It doesn't speak. It just smiles. And it keeps smiling for the next 15 to 20 minutes. I was that 5-year-old. And what happened next? No one, not my mom, not a paranormal researcher, not anyone on the internet, has ever been able to explain it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, buckle up, because we don't do fake stories here. No AI-generated nonsense, no campfire tales. Every story on this channel is a real, first-hand experience. And today's story? It's mine. I've been sitting on this for a long time because honestly, it still messes with me. But after so many of you have shared your own experiences in the comments, I figured it was time. I opened up about what happened to me when I was just 5 years old. I'm going to describe everything in as much detail as I possibly can. And at the end of this video, I'm showing you the recreation I drew of exactly what I saw that night. Let's get into it. It started the way a lot of scary things do, completely ordinary. I was 5. I shared a room with my brother, and I slept on the top bunk. It was the middle of the night, late. My parents were awake in the living room, watching TV. I remember being able to hear it clearly through the open door. I had woken up on my own, which was unusual. I wasn't scared. I wasn't having a nightmare. I just woke up, and out of habit, I looked down toward my toy box at the foot of the room. That's when I saw it. It was sitting there, completely still, completely silent. I can only describe it as a creature, not human, not animal, skeletal, with 3 long, sharp fingers on each hand. And its face, it had this wide, unnatural smile. The kind of smile that doesn't belong on any living thing. It wasn't angry. It wasn't threatening. It was just smiling at me, and it didn't move. I don't know how long I stared at it before my brain caught up. Maybe a few seconds, maybe a full minute. But I kept watching, frozen, waiting for it to do something. It never did. For 15, maybe 20 minutes, I lay there on my top bunk staring at this thing. And it stared right back at me with that same wide smile. No sound, no movement. Eventually, I did the only thing a 5-year-old knows how to do. I pulled the blanket over my head, closed my eyes as tight as I could, and told myself, it'll be gone in the morning. Morning came. My mom came in to wake me up for school, like any normal day. I opened my eyes, and the first thing I did, instinctively, automatically, was look up at the ceiling above my bunk. It was there, burned into the ceiling, like a shadow that didn't belong, was the full imprint of the creature. Its entire skeletal figure. Those 3 long fingers. That enormous smile. It wasn't painted on. It wasn't drawn. It was like someone had pressed the silhouette of this thing directly into the surface of the ceiling, and it had just stayed there. I screamed for my mom. She came in. She saw it, and she didn't dismiss it. She told me something I hadn't expected. She said she had heard me crying earlier that night and had come into my room to check on me. She had seen the creature, and she had scared it away. And then she mentioned something else. My dad had yelled from the couch during that same time at me and my brother to stop giggling and go back to sleep, because he could hear what sounded like laughter coming from our room. My brother and I were asleep. Whatever sounds my dad had heard, that wasn't us. For the rest of the time we lived in that apartment, months, maybe over a year, that imprint stayed on my ceiling. Every night I went to sleep, I could see it up there. That shape, that silhouette. You'd think I would have begged my parents to move rooms, right? But at some point, you almost get used to it. It becomes part of the space, part of the routine. And then we moved. When the last boxes were packed and we left that apartment behind, I honestly thought about that imprint. I wondered if the next family who moved in would notice it, would ask about it, would be afraid of it. A few days after we moved out, my mom went back to the apartment to collect a few forgotten items. She came home and told me, almost casually, but I could tell it shook her. The imprint was gone. The ceiling was clean. No marks. No outline. No trace that anything had ever been there. Whatever that thing was, it left with us. Or maybe it stopped when we did. This is my best recreation of what I saw that night. I drew this from memory, but trust me, some things you don't forget. The smile. The fingers. The way it just sat there. I've spent years trying to find an explanation. Sleep paralysis gets brought up a lot, but I was awake, sitting up, fully conscious. My mom saw it too. My dad heard something that shouldn't have been there. Some people in the paranormal community have suggested it could be a type of entity, sometimes called a watcher, beings that observe but rarely act. Others have pointed to shadow figure phenomena, or what some cultures describe as jinn. I don't know what to believe. What I do know is this: it was real, and it left a mark, literally, that lasted for months, and then disappeared the moment we were gone. Has anyone seen something like this? That skeletal figure, those 3 fingers, that smile? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach people who've had similar experiences and don't know where to share them.